The only one who buys the whole business out is Mark Cuban, because he's the only billionaire. We can't afford to buy these businesses outright out. He's the only guy that makes that offer.
Who's your favorite one to work with? Barbara Corcoran, world-renowned investor, real estate mogul, Shark Tank extraordinaire, has actually appeared on every season of Shark Tank for its entire 13 seasons. We sit down and have a conversation about her health, her surprise cancer diagnosis. She even shares her favorite shark. There's a lot of juicy details here. Hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. Whoop. You mentioned that I should take over Dr. Oz's spot.
Obviously, you're the only one.
I'm the only one.
Really, you're the only one out there.
Yeah, there's not many doctors in media, but when you say yes to TV network overlords, and I'm actually curious to your opinion on this, I feel like you give up a huge layer of control.
Of the show itself.
Yes.
But not of what you do outside the show. You still do all your regular stuff. You just have an add-on.
The issue is the producers, who take orders from the network execs, might tell you to talk about a topic or promote a topic or promote a product that I'm not ethically in line with. And I have a huge problem. That's why I started my YouTube channel, because I wanted to fight against that kind of nonsense, the snake oil stuff.
That makes great sense, but you're overthinking it.
Really?
They wouldn't have you promote something you don't believe in. They would suggest topics for the sake of entertainment. But if you were uncomfortable with anything, you're the boss.
I wish.
Yeah.
So you remember, I can't probably say the name of the show. Let's say I was offered a syndicated nationwide network TV show.
Like Nate Berkus. Is that what you're thinking of?
I don't know who that is. But
he's a very well-known designer. And he exactly had that experience you're talking about.
So let's say I had this offer. The contract was ready. The filming days were ready. The studio was prepared. My hospital cleared me for everything. And then in the contract, they refused to change one word, where it went from like meaningful say in sponsorships to reasonable say. Some like word change.
And you walked away on that basis?
Yeah, because my lawyer told me that what it changed was there were 3 producers of the show. Me, the producer, and the owner of the show.
Yeah.
And they could overrule me then.
Yeah, but what if, think of the practicality. First of all, attorneys are meant to tell you where the stoplights are, right? Yeah. That's their job. So you throw that to the side and think about it on your own.
Yeah.
Think about what you could do. You could just say, I'm not talking about it. They're going to fire you, end the show? No.
No, so they had a solution. And here was their solution. We'll bring on other doctors to read the sponsorships. And I'm like, great. So I'm going to have misinformation on my own show from other doctors? Because I actively talk about those things negatively on my YouTube channel and say like they're tricking you, they're misleading you. And then I'm going to have someone come on the doctor my show. Not
acceptable.
And say,
But I'm telling you again, when you're sitting in the seat and you're doing the show and you've got the billings, not the billings, you've got the audience. You're in charge. In the end, they're in a practical way. So you are overthinking it. You should just do it.
Well, now I don't have that. Now the show's canceled. So
well, guess what? Why don't you pitch a new one?
Well, we are. I promise we are. I promise we're not just
Did you go to the same producers?
No.
First stop.
Bring it back. It's possible. But I'm curious why you don't think a YouTube channel is just as important or just as big as one of those opportunities.
It's much bigger, except it doesn't pay as well.
I think you're, and I'm going to pleasantly disagree.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Am I?
Because a lot of times people think social media pays in a certain way, but I think if you do it the right way, just like running any other business, you can do quite well. Like, do you think it's reasonable to say that you can earn 8 figures a year as a YouTuber?
Do the count. Well, give me an example of an 8 number.
Tens of millions of dollars. Is that reasonable to earn on TV?
On TV, yes. Because it's syndicated overseas.
But multiple seasons, not first season. You don't get
not one season.
Yeah.
You're making that in one season of your stuff, then I'm going to marry you. If you'll please have me. I'll have no problems anymore. Never worry about the bills ever again.
No, but isn't that surprising that you think...
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
And are you making that stuff up?
No, and we're also turning down 95% of sponsorships.
I bet you're turning down marriage proposals even more.
No, I wish I was. I mean, maybe from randoms.
There's one from me. What do you say?
Well,
Let's close this
I think
deal.
We should do it on the podcast.
Let's close it right now,
God, you're such a good business person. It's insane.
But I'm not making your kind of money.
No, but I'm serious. Like, isn't it crazy that on social media you can do that?
Yes, it is. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to go in competition with you as a pretend doctor.
Okay. There's plenty of those on social media.
I'm going to try to make those kind of bucks.
There's a lot of that on social media.
Yeah, but isn't it a shame, really, for middle America, the little old ladies who are at home, that they're not seeing you in the morning TV show?
Absolutely.
You've missed that whole demographic.
Yeah. I was doing morning TV. I would do like the Kelly and Ryans, the Rachel Rays of the world. I did those for a while. I actually had a recurring segment on Maria Bartiromo's show,
Oh, you
Mornings
did?
with Maria.
I haven't seen that one. I saw
Every Wednesday for 3 years I did it.
Wow.
But I did not get nearly the amount of feedback, value, money, everything that we get from doing this show.
But it wasn't your spot. It's an unfair comparison.
Yes.
You know, this is your home, your spot. So people are going to talk to you and tell you what they think.
Yeah. Look, it's beautiful. My favorite part about having this channel is that we're in control of what we talk about. No one can tell us, hey, you got to talk about this.
Absolutely.
You got to sell
edit
this.
as you wish.
Yeah. And also...
And you have more liberty in saying words, thoughts, actions. Yeah,
exactly.
A lot more.
Yeah, no corporate... Because I work in a corporate hospital system.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of red tape.
No wonder you're here.
There's a lot of red tape.
Yeah.
No, but I work pretty much as a volunteer in the hospital.
Oh, you do?
Like that's something I do out of passion.
He did one surgery a month, I think.
I work 3 days a week in the hospital. So
do?
I'm not like doing it just for fun like that. I'm actually seeing patients a lot. Good. Like 40, 50 patients.
I hope you've raised your fee.
No.
People are going to come to you with no illness just to get to see you.
Well, yeah, I want that.
Oh, you want that?
I'm a family medicine doctor. We got to keep people healthy. It's not just about treating them when they're sick.
Okay. But make sure the wives bring their husbands with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because guys don't go to doctors.
No, it's not that. It's just so you don't get any embarrassing proposals while you're on the job.
Well, that happens, but we live with that.
Okay.
I'm curious, you're a world-class investor. How have you invested in your own health?
Working out.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm fortunate I was born with a good body. It doesn't take much work out. I eat whatever I want, do whatever I want, but I work out 3 days a week, period.
Okay. What do you do the 3 days a week?
Lift weights, do push-ups, sit-ups, whatever.
So
the usual on a
mostly
mat.
Strength training, resistance training, no cardio stuff?
No cardio. Well, I do jumping jacks. Is that cardio?
That is cardio.
Okay, then I do cardio too. Yeah.
So you're actually following the exact guidelines that we recommend in medicine. Yeah.
You know who I'm really following? Who? Margaret the trainer. If she didn't show up at the door, I wouldn't do a thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't like exercise. A lot of people like it. I can't stand it. I even set my clock ahead so I get out 5 minutes early. She doesn't know.
Why do you hate exercise? It makes you happy, makes you look younger, fitter.
No, I love the results of exercising, but that 1 hour I dread it. I dread it the night before. I don't want to get up out of the bed, but I put my sneakers right there and I think, all I have to do is get my feet in those sneakers and I'll actually walk and meet Margaret. Yeah.
Well, so you literally do everything by the book.
Very
like
much.
We always say, start with the smallest challenge, and you just say, if I put my shoes on, I'm ready to go.
Well, the rest takes care of itself, really.
Yeah.
If
is that like a life principle for you?
I don't think it's that important, a life kind of a thing.
I
just
think it
put
is.
my feet in the sneakers. Yeah.
Well, like you have so many
started.
challenges.
Yes,
There's so many
you're
things you're taking on. So much as a business. Like I've heard you've invested in like 80 businesses over
About
the course
130 by now.
Oh, 130.
We never update it.
We got to update Wikipedia. What are they doing? So 130, that takes an enormous amount of work.
Yeah, it does.
A big team.
But it takes more than anything getting started and being committed. And I guess that's an analogy for the sneakers, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, maybe I
make sure I get started.
Reading into it.
Yeah.
What's been your relationship with your healthcare providers? Has it been positive, negative? Have you had terrible medical experiences?
A mixed bag. You know, I'm actually shopping for a concierge doctor for my husband, so maybe you could help me out there.
Okay.
I find that medical is all fine until you go to an emergency room.
Okay.
Then all bets are off. I recently was with my daughter, who's 16, in an emergency room up in northern Massachusetts. I couldn't get a doctor to see her for 17 hours. Wow. And I thought she was having appendicitis.
What
as
was
did the nurse. She had a uterine infection, but terrible pain.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's not a hypochondriac at all.
So was it like an upper one where it went into the kidneys? Or?
It went into the kidnees,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. So like a
that could
pyelonephritis.
get dangerous, right?
Very dangerous, yeah. Was she admitted for IV antibiotics or sent home?
No. What happened was I finally took her off the bed and we walked out of the hospital and the doctor came out the door after us. Just a minute. And he gave us the results of, I think, the urine test. They do urine tests. And he told us what she had. And I said, can you give me a prescription? He said, yes, I can. We went back in the house, got the prescription. She never saw a doctor. It's amazing.
Can I tell you something unique about urinary tract infections?
Yes.
You don't need the test
to find out.
To diagnose it. It's a clinical diagnosis. So if the signs and symptoms are there, meaning you're having urgency, burning on urination, frequency, pressure, sensation, lower abdomen, you tap the back and do a physical exam and you have tenderness in the area of the lowest part of the ribs called the costovertebral angle, you have a diagnosis. You don't need the
even
test.
A nurse or a mother could do that.
Well, yes, but I would leave the diagnosis to a physician
We couldn't get a physician.
Yeah, what was going on there?
They must have had 400 people in the emergency ward. Yeah, they had.
So our healthcare system is trash.
Oh, it's broken down in that sense. Well, you would know more about it than I.
Yeah.
But I had my husband in the emergency room up at Mount Sinai Hospital, and he was getting a drip into his arm, and I was there for almost 45 minutes saying, it's not dripping. Can you fix it? Can you fix it? No one paid attention. It's just terrible, the emergency rooms. There's one in upstate New York, one in New York City, both within 2 weeks of each other.
And they're all, I mean, the problem is the numbers.
Yes, it is.
And you know, something that I'll call out our healthcare system on, and maybe even so our neighbors up north in Canada, the reason why I feel the government people are being so vocal about RSV, COVID, et cetera, is because they know our healthcare systems are teetering on the edge of collapsing.
You feel so, my.
And meaning I feel that they're saying these things because it's teetering, that any stress, whether it's more kids getting sick with RSV, which is not the most serious thing in the world in most cases, or right now the COVID variant that's going around is a little bit more manageable, but because it's going to overload our already overloaded healthcare system, that's why they're worried.
That makes sense.
And it's sad.
It's more than sad. It's unfair.
Yeah.
We can't do a better job. It seems unbelievable to me.
Yeah. How would you fix this business?
Well, actually, how could you fix the business? I think it would have to be torn
Fire
apart.
everyone. Fire all the doctors.
Well, no, you'd have to really tear apart the parts and step away and with your imagination think, what would I envision being a perfect system and starting there versus editing?
But how do you start over? Like, do you close all the ERs? Like, practically speaking, you know?
No, it's not practical. Yeah. But that's why you're the doctor. You should know.
The doctors don't solve problems.
I don't invest in health systems at all.
So you've never invested in a health product?
No, I never have, really.
Oh, interesting. You know, I've done videos reacting to some of the Shark Tank pitches that people make of health products.
Yeah.
I get so mad. Some of them are such scams.
Oh, most of them are scams. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
not tested.
Yeah.
Most of them are scams. And then businesses we haven't even seen on Shark Tank, they advertise like crazy and use the sharks as their poster boys.
No.
All the time, constantly. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
Do your lawyers like go after them?
No, because there's something to go after. There's a diet pill company out there that's been advertising for 4 years, must make millions a month by the way they're spending on all the social platforms. But the attorneys don't do anything because they close up the site and open somewhere else. It's like
or they're
whack-a-ball or whatever that old game was, you know? Yeah.
Wow, that's so sad. Because
it's sad because so many people are giving their credit cards and signing up for the subscriptions, which is wrong. Yeah.
And I also heard you don't like fishing.
No. How did you know I don't like fishing? It's so boring.
I don't think you were talking about the same fishing.
Oh, what fishing do you mean?
But that's
it's
I should have just played along.
That I'm not getting.
I should have played along. I heard you may have been a victim of a phishing scam, PH.
PH phishing.
Like an email scam where they almost stole $400,000 from you?
Oh, that thing. That's old news. Who even cares about it anymore?
Well, I don't know. It sounds like it was important in your life because you almost lost $400,000. Or did you lose it?
You know what was good about it? I didn't have any check systems in place in my business. Okay? If you got an email from someone who's in charge of money or someone who's half in charge of money saying, pay this bill, the money went out. Okay? Now I have a system as simple as could be, and we've avoided probably 3 scam cents. Okay. You have to call the person and say, did you send this email? Simple as that. Yeah. They're all phony. And that's how I almost got taken for $400,000.
Well, let's go back to the fishing then. Yeah. You don't like fishing itself either?
I don't like fishing. In fact, when the producers at Shark Tank called me up and said they were wondering if I'd be interested in a show called Shark Tank, I said, I don't like fishing. That's exactly what I said.
Did you said really it in jest, or did you think?
No, I said it's, remember, this was before Shark Tank.
That's true. I would have known.
What would you think it was? Shark Tank. Wouldn't you think it would be
I would
fishing?
think it's a fishing show.
Not business.
Yeah, but then you would probably wonder, is like a real estate show? Like what?
No, I just thought they were calling the wrong person. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, because they have abroad a different one with dragons, right?
Dragon's Den is the same show, owned by the Japanese. Yeah, it's the exact same show. All over the world, it's owned by the Japanese, Sony.
So if they pitched you dragons, what would you think that was?
No, I would think
it's a video game.
I don't know I don't know what I would have thought it was. I wish they had just called and said, "We're thinking of doing a great show. I'm buying businesses. Are you in?" I would have said yes. But as it turned out, I signed the contract without even reading it. Contrary to you on the TV show, without even reading it, I said, "This is a chance. Let me take it. It's going to build my media presence." And then they changed your mind and de-hired me. Is there such a thing as de-hired me?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, we created it now.
Yeah, they called me a week before the secretary to the producer and said, I'm sorry, we've changed our mind. We've chosen another woman. I couldn't believe my ears.
Wow.
Yeah. Wasn't that nasty? I didn't even read the contract.
And you signed it already.
I signed it, and I had my plane reservation. And then I got angry, and I sent a really good email saying you've made a mistake, and I consider your rejection a compliment. And I'd like you to invite both women out to compete for the one sole female sheet.
You did
and
like a chemistry thing.
I did. And I told them everything that I had been written off on in my life, from Sister Stella Marie saying I was stupid to Donald Trump not wanting to pay his $4 million commission. And I won every time. So I considered him a lucky charm. And I asked that I come out next Tuesday and compete for the seat. And he invited me.
Wow.
See how that is good.
That is really
on
good.
A fishing show, no less.
On a fishing show. Wow.
It's a fishing show in a way. We're fishing for deals.
You are. Yeah. And you're eating the little fish.
No, we're not. We're helping the little fish or rejecting them.
Both. In some cases.
Yeah.
Some people need to be bought out and you need to eat the little fish because they're not,
the only one who buys the whole business out is Mark Cuban because he's the only billionaire. We can't afford to buy these businesses outright out. He's the only guy that makes that offer.
Who is your favorite one to work with?
Work with? Or who do I like best?
On the show.
Work with Mark, for sure. You know why he closes the deal fast? He's no nonsense, what you see is what you get. He doesn't fool around. He operates pretty much like I do.
Yeah. You guys are my favorite sharks.
He's not my favorite shark, though.
Oh, he's not?
Who's Damon is. Damon's a sweetheart. Yeah, I mean, Mark is second favorite. Damon is a sweetheart. He's just a funny man.
Yeah.
He's a darling man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know that you have rapport with both of them. In terms of Mark's BS detector, I got to give him props because whenever I'm watching those health products, he's right away he's like, scam, bullshit.
Yeah.
And he's very vocal about it.
Yes,
not
he
even.
is. But you know what he's not good at?
What's that?
He's not good at picking the good ones.
Really?
Yeah. He falls for the people and falls for the words. And I'm telling you, most of the deals Mark does, I sit there thinking, he shouldn't invest in them. I could feel that they're the wrong people.
Wow.
But let him spend the money. It's meaningless to lose $1 million or $2 million.
Well, when you have billions, I guess that's the case.
It really is meaningless when you have billions. Do you know what a billion is?
I know the difference between 1 billion seconds and 1 million seconds is drastic.
Yes, it is. You saw that little YouTube thing.
Yeah, I do. I watch a lot of content.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, but 1 million it is. Is that right? A million?
It's 1,000 million.
Oh, I'm still wrong on it. Okay, 1,000. But it's still a lot.
I think someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a ton.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 million. What do you do with that? If I had $1,000 and you asked for $1, I'd say sure.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm investing on that show like $150,000 and thinking, do I like this guy enough to give him around 50? Mark's like, take $1 million. I'll raise the bid. I want to win this bid. I'm like, win it. Go right ahead.
Well, it's easy again when you have those numbers to play with. Shifting back to health, I heard you had a scare with basal cell carcinoma.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about that.
I had built my business, sold it, and I worked so hard, such long hours building that business that my face looked it. So I decided to have a facelift right after I sold my business. I was 46, went to the best surgeon in New York, checked everybody out, and I showed up at his office ready to make my appointment for the facelift. And he sent me to a cancer doctor. I was like, whoa, this wasn't supposed to go
Not
this
a dermatologist.
No, he looked at my face. I had been to 3 or 4 eye doctors. They all said I had a clogged pore. It went on for 5-6 years. He looked at my face without even looking close, said, I'm sending you to a cancer doctor. You have cancer on your eye. All right, that was the bad news. Wasn't what I expected. But then while I was at the cancer doctor, I realized this is real surgery that I need.
Yeah.
And I got my eye lift for free. I was so happy.
You've hacked the healthcare system?
Yeah, I didn't hack it. No, but it was fair.
No. Hacking is not always bad.
Yeah, no, it's
there's like hacks. Like you put your sneakers in your bed. That's a hack.
That's a hack?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, on the internet now, anything's a hack.
Oh, I didn't know that.
If you watch those like 5-minute videos where they're like, oh, here's a way to hack your
Okay.
diet.
I'm going to start using that term.
I actually hate the term.
Do you really?
Because they use it in a scam way. Where like everything's a hack.
Yes.
Like, and also biohacking. Hate it.
Really? I'm sure that's dangerous.
Well, it's not dangerous. It could be dangerous. A lot of people in the Silicon Valley space will say that they've figured out something doctors don't know, and there's a device that you wear here and then on your chest, and you track
Suspicious.
this. And it's just like, it's not true.
Yeah.
And you know why I know it's not true? It's not because I know more than them. They're way smarter than me. I know what we don't know. because I know if we knew it, we could actually help people in certain ways.
Of course,
and we don't know
that makes sense.
But I'm glad you got the basal cell taken care of. Did you have to get a full skin check afterwards to make sure no cancers?
I did, and I've never gotten it again, thank God.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but once I had the facelift, then I went back for the facelift.
Okay. Wait, so you had 2 surgeries then?
Yeah.
Or not at the same time?
I would have liked to. Maybe insurance would cover it, but I found out that wasn't the case. So I had to separate them out, you know.
Okay.
But I had a facelift at 40, 50, 60, and 70.
Wow. So you have the tallest face ever.
I have no skin left. They keep stretching that skin.
How do you feel? But you look beautiful. That's amazing.
I think I do look good, yeah.
You do look great.
I go to a good surgeon.
Okay.
I don't want that stretch puffy lip look, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Do you recover well post-surgery?
I really do. I really do. I bruise and the bruising's gone like almost within 5 days. Wow. Yeah.
That's the beauty genetics that you have right there.
Yeah, that's just a lucky genetic.
Yeah.
You don't work for that one. Yeah.
Well, because like I get bruised. Like I became a professional boxer this year. Any bruise takes me 4 weeks to heal.
Really? Then you'll never get a facelift.
Okay. Not getting a facelift.
You don't need one now, but wait till you turn 30.
Oh my God.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
No, that was the nicest compliment anyone's
I didn't mean it. It's a joke.
Oh, okay. So I don't look 30. Okay. How old? Do you know how old I am?
I don't know how old you are, but
so
I used
curious.
to guess ages at Palisade Amusement Park.
Oh, as like
and get paid for that.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a good guess, and I bet I'm right. And I really don't know how old you are.
Well, you also know that I graduated medical school and did all that stuff. So
that's assumed. Yeah. I would say you're 47.
Close.
How old?
33.
No? Are you 33? Bullshit. You're not 33. Is he 33? You're 33?
I thought you were saying it sarcastically in jest.
No, I meant it.
Wow.
Wow. Sorry about that.
My grays are giving me away. That.
I thought with the toupee you had on, you're trying too hard.
I know, but yeah. I've never gotten 15 years older than... I just turned 33.
Well, you know, it's your own fault because of the way you pose the question. You look very proud. You put your chin up in the air and you acted like, wow,
well, that's the goal.
Good.
I was trying to mislead you by a couple of years here.
Yeah, you were. So you got what you deserved. You teased me and you got it.
Okay. That's going to be the clip.
But looking at you closer, if I had a chance to do it again, now that I look at you close, I'd say 57.
Okay. Well, at least it's going up, not down. And I couldn't be a professional boxer at age 47.
Oh, you're not a professional boxer.
I'm a professional boxer.
No, you aren't. And I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
You wouldn't risk that pretty boy face.
Well, Barbara, I can tell you, you are very wrong. I fought on Showtime pay-per-view.
Really?
6 weeks ago, and I got my ass kicked and my face was demolished. Sam, show her my bloody face after the fight.
This isn't you.
That's me.
Are you bullshitting
No.
me? Let's see.
You can read the headline.
Oh, that is you. You don't look...
Maybe that's why I look 47, because Chris Avila redecorated my face.
Well, guess what? Your body looks fabulous.
Oh,
if I can
thank
say
you. I
so.
appreciate that.
But your face from the side doesn't look good.
No. He hit me hard.
You know what? You're ready for a facelift. I could see it.
Yeah. Well, he lifted my face plenty of times during that fight. Isn't that funny, though?
Yeah, that's great. Good for you.
Yeah, so I wasn't afraid to risk the pretty boy face.
Wow.
Yeah. And we did it for charity.
Oh.
I donated $125,000 that I got paid for the fight to the Boys and Girls Club here in Harlem.
Wow.
So that was awesome.
Paid a lot. I think I'll volunteer for 125.
Really? For that?
Yeah.
No facelift will cure what happens after a fight.
Oh, really?
It's a
problem. I won't do it. I'll stay away.
Because it's a fracture issue.
Oh,
like you break bones. That's why my nose is all crooked.
Oh, it is crooked. Yeah, you're right.
Your brother had a tremendous accident.
Oh, so sad. My brother John, my favorite brother, is dead now. Yeah.
Yeah. But had to have full spinal reconstruction surgery?
Yes. How do you know this stuff?
I went through your medical records.
Did you really?
No, that would be illegal. But tell me about that journey.
He was on a motorcycle, was hit by a truck, went down to a ditch. We couldn't find him for 2 days.
Wow.
He had a cell phone that was alive. And you know, you have to get it. It's not a search warrant, but you have to get some legal
permission. Yeah.
Yeah. So it took us 2 days to find him.
Jesus.
And then they said he'd never walk again. He had no responsiveness in the lower part of his body, but he got up and walked again.
Wow.
He was in bed in a coma for a couple of months, then got up. But he's a big guy, a tough guy, a roofer, and he had the spirit of a man that you couldn't put down. So it wasn't a surprise in a way, but we were like mourning his crippledom.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't. You know, it was a really...
So he came out of it. And then you said he passed away?
He passed away because he went on a vacation in Costa Rica. had a heart attack.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
And always wanted to be buried in Costa Rica, where he always loved to vacation. And they did bury him, but they buried him on top of the ground, and they made a tower of beer bottles in his honor. Still
does he like beer?
Day. He loved beer. He drank way too much of it, but beer bottles all the way to the moon.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in his memory, then we have this conversation.
Yeah.
Do you have a primary care doctor?
I do.
Do you have a good relationship with them?
No.
I love your honesty.
No, until recently. See, I wanted to go to a concierge doctor to eliminate a lot of the paperwork and referrals and everything else.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work that way. I think I'm with the wrong guy. I actually, maybe afterwards, or maybe now, get your advice. How do you pick a good concierge doctor, and what are they expected to do?
When you say concierge doctor, what are you looking for them to do?
I'm looking for them to help out when you're in an emergency ward, to get some attention on a patient that needs attention.
I would find a primary care doctor that has admitting privileges in a hospital.
Great advice. They don't all have admitting privileges?
Some do, and some that do don't use it. So, for example, my father has...
Because they don't want to use it.
Yeah, like they want to be office-based physicians.
I see.
My father, for example, he's the same type of doctor that I am, family medicine. He has admitting privileges in an NYU local Brooklyn hospital, but he doesn't go there. Yes. So he sends his patients there, he can admit them, but he doesn't take care of them. The team there takes care of them, the hospital.
That's not so bad, though, as long as you can get in.
Oh, no, for sure. But where I did my training, for example, in Atlantic Health in New Jersey here, when I would send a patient to get admitted, I would then take care of them while they're in the hospital.
That's what I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
how do you find that person?
You need a family medicine doctor with admitting privileges who does inpatient medicine.
And who isn't in New Jersey?
Well, yes.
Yeah. In New York.
But you grew up in Jersey.
I grew up in New Jersey, but I live in the city, and I want to be close to a hospital here.
True.
Yeah.
Do you live nearby in the city?
I live on 97th and 5th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very close to Mount Sinai.
Not too far.
Now, let me ask you another question. I don't mean to interview you, but I'm so
This
curious.
Is great, yeah.
Okay. When you call an ambulance, 911, must they take you to the nearest hospital? That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true.
I think they probably do. I think it's like an insurance thing.
So let's say you're my doctor, you're at Mount Sinai, and you're the farthest hospital away. Can I say, my doctor's at Mount Sinai, that's where I want to go?
I think you can.
You can, yeah. You don't seem sure yourself.
I'm not sure.
I could tell.
That's not my specialty. I can find out.
You don't have to find out.
No, I will find out.
Okay.
I think it's important for you to know that. But yeah, I think also the whole ambulance system and transport system in our hospital is so shady and can become so expensive. Like, that's why people are Ubering now to hospitals when they're having emergencies, and that's really dangerous.
The patient pays for the ambulance?
Well, your insurance ends up paying for it.
Oh.
And they charge ridiculous sums of money, so people don't want to go because they don't want to, like, if they haven't met their deductible, they end up having to pay that.
Oh.
And it's really expensive, overpriced at times. Then, like, let's say you're in a hospital system and you need to get transported to a faraway place, but you're unstable, you would need to go on a helicopter. Those things are even worse because they don't tell you prices up front and they act like it's a big emergency. And all of a sudden you're fronting $100,000 transport fee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I should check my bills. I assumed I was not paid.
Do you get helicopter to
Not a
often?
helicopter, but the ambulance, I don't think I'm charged. I don't know that.
Well, I mean, your insurance probably gets
Next time I say to my husband, walk.
No. The ambulance is the most important part. That's why it's worrying to me that Ubers get called, because the Uber driver, that's an unfair thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they even take you in.
Well, they don't even know.
Wow.
That's so dangerous.
Wow.
But that's what our healthcare system is leaving people to resort to. And I work in a community health center, so a lot of people don't have money and are not well off. And as a result, they're facing even bigger struggles. Like, I'll give you an example. Patient walks into my office, diagnose them with a sinus infection. I write them a prescription. Here's a doxycycline. It's an antibiotic we use. Send them out on their way. They go to the pharmacy. Their insurance denies it. They have to pay out of pocket. Why is your insurance denying a common antibiotic? Oh, because the doctor prescribed capsules and your insurance only covers tablets.
But they don't tell you that. Oh, so
How can I know that as a doctor? What this person's insurance covers?
I'm sure you'd agree with me. Whenever you call an insurance company for anything, it's a game of what they can pay.
Yes.
You have to outwit it almost. And it takes a lot of time.
The shady part of insurances is this. If you argue enough, you can get everything you deserve.
While you die waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the goal is that they outlive you, the insurance company, literally, as evil as it is to say, or that you won't want to jump through the hoops or don't know how to jump through the hoops, so they don't have to pay for it.
I'm sure that's true because that's the feeling you get talking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I order an MRI for you, for let's say we have a good reason, and I know it's a good reason because I'm a doctor.
Order it anyway because that's what my parents died of. I'd like to get one tomorrow, please.
No, we don't get random MRIs for screening. That's not a good thing either.
Just a checkup.
No, that's we got to talk about that too because that's important. But let's say I order an MRI because we need something. Let's say I'm following a patient's tumor size. So I'm like, we need an MRI to see how the tumor is behaving. I order it. The insurance company will deny it. I will call them. I will say the patient needs, why? Because of this. Did you get a CAT scan first? No, they don't need a CAT scan. They need an MRI. No, they do. And I have to argue for 45 minutes. Yeah. Guess what I don't get paid for as a doctor? Well, for me, I'm a weird scenario, but everyone else, time.
Well, you don't have to because you make so much money here.
Well, I'm lucky. But if you're a lawyer, are you doing anything for 45 minutes without getting compensated?
Not at all. Yeah.
Is that unfair?
Yeah. And I don't find that doctors will call and argue. That's not been my experience.
Okay. Most doctors will try and then we fail. So then we start trying to hire administrators to do it for us. And that is why healthcare costs have ballooned in this country.
I see.
You would think our healthcare costs have doubled, tripled, and doctors should be making way more money. They're not.
Yeah.
The costs are going up because for every doctor, there's like, this could be wrong, but in the range of 10 to 15 administrators.
Wow.
Because we don't understand. Like I order antibiotic. I don't know which tablets, capsules. The patient's insurance denies the visit because I didn't put the right code or this and that. I'm a doctor. I do science. I do the body. I don't do codes.
Yes.
But now you have to become like a business person, a lawyer, a doctor, all in one.
But again, the objective of the insurance company is not to pay.
Yes.
That's the main thing, not to pay.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe that.
So they're inherently like broken.
Yeah.
That's sad. Oh, let's talk about your MRI thing because I'm passionate about that. Do you know why we don't just get random MRIs on people?
I imagine you have some downside to it. I don't know what it is.
So MRI doesn't cause radiation, so it's not like a CAT scan, so that's not a problem. But if you're just doing a test for screening, which means that you don't have symptoms, you're otherwise healthy, and we're just testing to make sure everything's okay, you need to be able to be sure that the thing you're testing for is actionable and that you would want to go through with the plan.
Oh.
So for example, let's say I have a patient who's having bleeding down below, like bathroom bleeding. And I say, you know what, we need to do a colonoscopy to find out the source of this bleeding. And the patient says, I would never have a surgery to take out a tumor. There's no point to do the colonoscopy.
Absolutely.
Because they don't want the end result, right? So you adjust. With screening MRIs.
However, they could change their mind when they find out what's really wrong with them. They might get scared and revisit it. Or they might have a wife that badgers them. Well, any of these things are possible.
I mean, everything is possible, but you try and be as objective as possible. For a screening MRI, our bodies have lumps, bumps, nodules that are not always of significance. In fact, most of the time, they're not of significance. And when we find these little centimeter nodules, what do we have to do? We have to follow them. We have to keep scanning for them. We might have to do biopsies. Now that we found one, I have to do it. Like, what do you mean there's a bump there? I have to do it. And now I'm doing an invasive test on you with a needle and going into your body, causing an infection, causing side. Whereas if you just left it alone, it would have been fine.
Yes, I see. I have a good story for you.
Oh,
you probably hear all the doctor stories.
I like
My
doctor
son,
stories.
who was 16 at the time, he said he had a bump in his private spot and it was getting larger.
Okay.
I said, well, we've got to see someone. We went to his regular doctor. He recommended a woman. We went to her office like the next day. She examined him. She comes out. She says, I have bad news. He's going to have surgery and he should have it right away. I could schedule on Monday. And it's a tumor and it grows rapidly. We were in a panic.
From the physical exam, she was able to?
That's what she said.
That's
okay, but we didn't know about it. We were patient, right?
Sure.
Okay.
You need my phone number in your phone.
Okay.
To ask me these things.
All right. So anyway, we believed her. She seemed credible, very young doctor, extremely articulate. So we're going to schedule it. My son says, couldn't that make me infertile because you're messing around down there? Shouldn't I save my sperm? She said, that would be a good idea. And she gives him a referral. He had to think of that. We're leaving the office. I said, listen, I have to tell you, I've been to a lot of doctor offices. This office is so beautiful. I've never seen a more beautiful doctor's office. Really, my compliments to you. And she said, oh, it's not my office. It's Dr. So-and-so's office. I rent a desk on Mondays. Rent a desk on Mondays?
Wow.
So we walked out of the office and my son said, who else could we see? He went to a doctor. We went like 2 days later to a doctor. His place was a mess. He had files piled. He looked like such a mess. He looked, he said, no problem, be gone in 2 weeks. We couldn't believe it. We said, you sure, you sure? He says, positive. It was gone in 2 weeks.
So it was a cyst of some kind.
It was a cyst. That's just a harmless cyst. He named it. But isn't that crazy if we didn't go for another opinion or if I didn't make a comment on her beautiful lobby?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's so scary.
That's one of your best stories you've heard, I hope.
It's one of the most frightening stories.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Because imagine something bad happens from that surgery that was unnecessary.
It's called get a second opinion. That's what it did to me.
Anytime there is a serious intervention like that is potentially life-changing, always get a second opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, because unless you've known the doctor for an extended period of time, you have a relationship. But
like my doctor that operated on my knees, my husband's knees, his shoulders, my son's knees and everything. That guy, whatever he says, no problem. Sign me up, you know? Yeah.
But that's scary. And also, your son was of the age that testicular cancer does happen.
Yes.
Because testicular cancer, what's unique about it, it affects the younger men and the older men.
Oh.
Middle age, not so much.
Really?
And it's usually very actionable with surgery, but you don't diagnose it off of just looking.
Yeah, there were no tests.
You can't. It's physically impossible to have X-ray hands.
Yes,
and it's not even an X-ray that you would do it, but I'm just saying.
This is a special doctor who had it, obviously.
They could speak to the tissues.
Yeah.
What about the fact that you had plastic surgery on your knees?
I didn't have plastic surgery on my knees. I had my knees reconstructed from skiing accidents.
Oh,
yeah. Can you do that though? Because I have one baggy knee I'd like to improve, honest to God.
Okay. Well, tell me what you would want to improve upon.
Well, let me show you my leg. No. I would, but I don't have stockings. Well, what the heck? I'll show it to you anyway.
Show me.
Okay, so see this knee here?
Okay.
That's from that old original. It's all baggy here.
Yeah.
Only in one knee. Could I have this removed?
The skin.
Yeah. That's what plastic surgery is.
The skin is beautiful. Like, let it be.
It's not pretty with a short
You know what's
skirt
not
on.
pretty? Getting a mean staph infection after a surgery for no reason.
Not worth it, right? Okay, put my pants down.
There we go.
All right.
No, but tell me about the knee reconstruction. What happened with the knee?
Well, I ski, and that's my love of life. So I had a terrible accident on my knee, and I had to have it sanded, I guess, the kneecap.
Okay.
Very painful, my gosh.
Very painful.
Yeah.
I mean, you were asleep, I hope.
Yeah, but I was on crutches 6 months. And, you know, I was selling real estate. I sold more real estate than anybody in New York. People felt sorry for me. I hobbled around. I mean it. I realized it's the best gimmick. I almost was tempted to keep the crutches, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. But the second surgery was the same surgery. Little needle in, needle out, no scar. Amazing and 10-year difference.
And it was all from skiing.
All from skiing, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. You know, skiing is one of those things that I feel like life insurance policyholders probably take into consideration the most because it's so dangerous.
Really?
Yeah. You cannot imagine the amount of injuries that come into my office and to the ER from skiing.
Well, stop telling me about it because I'm not going to stop skiing.
No, you're not going to ski. Where's your favorite place to ski?
Deer Valley, because they mow it down. Where in Deer Valley? That's
no. Where is Deer Valley? I'm just not familiar.
It's right next to Park City in Utah.
Oh, Utah. Yeah. Okay, got it. So I got to go. Yeah, I'm a terrible skier. I do like a blue diamond maybe.
Why would you go after what you just said to me?
I get punched in the face as a boxer, so like clearly I don't care about my health. Yeah. Look, just because I can lecture on it doesn't mean I follow the advice. Like,
because it is such a joyful sport.
It's beautiful to be with nature.
Yes, but I also hurt my shoulder skiing, which is hard to do, you know. But I deserved it. It's funny. All of my injuries happened when I was showing off.
Really?
You'd think I would stop showing off.
How were you showing off?
Well, with the shoulder, I saw this hot skier. He must have been 16, 18 years old. Bright colors. He bounces when he skis. And I looked at him. I said, he skis just like I used to ski. I'm going to compete. So he took off. I said, I'm going to race him to the bottom of the mountain. It was the bottom third. And I took after him, but I didn't know he was onto a mogul run. I don't do those. And I took off that mogul run and bounced down the mountain.
Wow.
And I ripped out my front of my cuff. And then I was showing off again.
You're like, I didn't learn my lesson the first time.
5 years later, showing my kids what a good server I am in tennis. I hadn't played for 25 years. I just wanted to show them how to serve in Mexico.
Okay.
And I fell backwards and ripped it totally out on the back. It was like a dangle kind of thing.
Oh, my God.
And the weirdest thing of that day, I mean, you could edit this out because it's a little...
We'll edit out anything you want to edit out.
When I was laying on the court, I couldn't get attention. My kids were around me. They were trying to get attention, but there were a lot of workers wouldn't come near me. I was shouting, "Penne, penne, penne," because I took Spanish 3 times. Penne, penne means penis, penis, penis.
But why are you yelling penis?
I thought I was yelling pain, pain, pain.
Oh, duele.
So they didn't come near me.
my God.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Okay. So now we're working on the Spanish as well. Do you speak other languages?
I try to speak Spanish, but I failed it a lot.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I try and speak it with my patients so I can speak a little medical Spanish.
Oh, you better make it good or they'll feel insulted.
They're appreciative of the fact that I make the effort.
Oh,
because
how nice.
usually no one does. And,
Really?
and in the result, people go on Google Translate. It doesn't really work well. They feel like no one cares. But if you're trying,
I
even
get
if
it.
you're failing, the effort is
Called
visible.
empathy, so important in anything.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Don't speak Spanish to me. I won't get it.
I'm Russian born, so I speak Russian as well.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I have a guy in my office that took training online during COVID and speaks Russian fluently.
Oh, wow.
And I think he paid
Why did he?
he met someone who spoke Russian. He thought it was cool.
He met a beautiful Russian lady.
No, it was a guy. He thought it was cool and he learned it. But
Really?
he said it was, he
It's a
really
hard
speaks
language.
it well. It's a hard language, but he only paid, I think, $15 an hour for somebody in Russia to teach him one-on-one.
Wow.
Do you know you could do that online in any language? Yeah, you can.
Well, I guess that kind of makes sense with Skype
Yeah.
and Zoom and Google Meets and all these other virtual things.
Yeah.
What a fun time with Barbara. I cannot express how cool she was on and off camera. Even as we're leaving just now, she literally wanted to play with Bear, even though he was slobbering all over her. Most guests are like, oh, get him away, or he's cute, but I don't want to get dirty. She's like, no, let him slobber all over me. Awesome guest, Barbara. You're welcome anytime. We welcome your investing, real estate, and human knowledge. But as we always do, I'm answering your questions here that you've left in the body of your reviews. Remember to make the podcast pop off. We need those 5-star reviews. And when you leave a review, add into the body of that review a medical question, and I answer them at the end of every episode. Here we go. Basilisk 2857. My sister is now addicted to caffeinated soda and drinks 2 to 3 a day. What can she do or I do to help her? Well, there's nothing you can do unless she's a minor and you can control what food comes into the house. That's usually the best form of advice. Like if you're upset that you're eating cookies or stuff that you have at home or your family member is, don't bring them into the home. That's why I make it a rule to never buy sweets for the house. And the only time I indulge in sweets is when people bring me sweets as a gift and then they're here. And because they're here and I'm hungry or stressed, I end up eating them. When it comes to caffeinated soda, 2 to 3 a day is probably too much in my medical opinion. It depends how much caffeine. Like if it's a small amount, 20, 30 milligrams, it's probably not the end of the day because it's like 90 when it comes to the caffeine component. But if it's sugary soda, that's where it becomes not great. If you're drinking a ton of soda that's like dark cola, that can affect your bones, can affect kidney stone formation. So I would just be careful with that. My thing is don't bring it into the house and do some education. Find alternatives. For me, sparkling water unflavored, that's the way to go. Lily Z Gotcha. Can I have cereal for dinner? Like, are you asking if I can feed it to you? If I can buy it for you? Can I give you the medical stamp of approval? Don't treat doctors or even internet doctors as someone to tell you what you can or cannot do. You can do whatever you want. Should you have cereal for dinner? If it fits your macros and calories, maybe. I don't eat cereal regularly because I feel like there's more nutritious foods out there and it's not like I'm in love with cereal. But could you have cereal and have it be part of a healthy diet for dinner? Sure. I don't see a problem with that. Brand Joe 24. What are the causes and effects of an anterior talofibular tear? Causes is basically an inversion ankle injury when your ankle rolls inward because that ligament is the one that gives you the most stabilization there. And that happens, you're stepping off a sidewalk, you misstep, you're jumping in basketball and you land on someone's foot. That's like the frequently most occurring situation of when it gets torn. It's very painful, lots of swelling. And the biggest issue is instability of the ankle. So a few things happen as a result. One, you're more likely to re-injure that ankle later on because you don't have that extra added stability. And two, because of the excess wear that happens to the bones of the ankle as a result of the lack of stability, you tend to develop degenerative changes, aka arthritic changes in that ankle, which kind of cause it to lose range of motion. That's why PT is so important for these types of tears and injuries, to make sure that you recover full range of motion, to make sure that you strengthen the other muscles in that area and allow them to compensate without trying so hard. Remember, if you don't have ligamentous stability, your muscles need to compensate. And if your muscles are weak, they either can't compensate well enough or fatigue really early, therefore don't compensate for a long enough period of time. So you got to do PT. Make sure you're doing your balance exercises. And that could be something as simple as doing a single leg Romanian deadlift versus the traditional one. So making sure that you have the stability to do it on one leg will go a long way. An easy way to test this that I do in my office is if a patient has recurrent ankle injuries, having them just stand on one foot and close their eyes, the injured ankle, they always fall first and sooner. These are great questions. Keep them coming. Write the 5-star review if you thought this podcast was 5-star worthy, and I'll answer your questions on the next episode. As always, stay happy and healthy.